Today's live. I'm going to do a live Q&A after we finish here, but we've got tons of news. A lot of stuff happened with Social Security. We want to make sure you get everything you are eligible, everything you paid into. So we're going to go into all that today. So the first part, we're going to talk about how to make sure you and your family and your loved ones get the money you paid into Social Security through the trust fund. There's a lot of blocks being put up right now to prevent you from getting those benefits. So I'm going to tell you some insider tips, tricks, and secrets, and then we're going to talk about, I guess, the new deep state. And was there really a deep state? If there was, there's a new one now. And breaking news, looks like the courts have come in and said, hey, hold on, DOGE, you can't have everybody's Social Security number, where they were born, who they were married to, how much they make. So we've got the courts coming in there and trying to stop DOGE. All right, so we're going to talk about all of that today. And again, at the end, this is also a live Q&A. So if you got any questions, make sure you type it in the live Q&A, and I'll get to it after we talk about what's going on. Okay, so they just came out, the Social Security Administration under DOGE. This is the DOGE Social Security Administration. Make no mistake about that. The acting commissioner of Social Security, he was kind of a mid-level person. He was a big DOGE fan. He reached out to DOGE, did some things that he wasn't supposed to do. He was under investigation, allegedly, and then DOGE said, wow, you're our guy, and so now you're the acting commissioner of Social Security. So he has said that he's pretty much taking orders from DOGE. So this is DOGE Social Security. All right, so they've made a bunch of changes. The big one is that if you're filing a new claim for retirement benefits, disability benefits, Medicare, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, or whatever the case may be, if you can't do it completely online, then you're going to have to visit an office. So you can start the application over the phone, a retirement or whatever survivors. But then if you can't go online to certify your ID, who you are, then you're going to have to go down to a local Social Security office. Doesn't matter who you are. If you're 90 years old and you just lost your spouse and you need to file for a survivor's claim, you live 100 miles away, you're in a wheelchair, well, DOGE doesn't care. You have to go down to the local Social Security office if it's still open. And if there's anybody actually in there, whether they've all been moved out of the agency, voluntold to retire, or whatever the case may be, as we used to say in the Marine Corps. So that's the new reality until we protest and get in there and get our politicians to roll that back and take care of the least vulnerable, the elderly and the disabled that just can't, walk down to the local Social Security office. So there's a lot of people in that situation. So Social Security is really, really hurting those people that are most vulnerable, that can't take that hit, unfortunately. All right, so that is the reality. All right, some of the tips, tricks, and secrets of getting that. Number one is protective filing. If you file for benefits, if you want to go ahead and file for benefits. Don't wait. Don't say, well, I guess I have to go down to the local Social Security office and I can't go till next month. No. Call the Social Security Administration. Even if you can't go down there until next month, establish a protective filing. What does that mean, a protective filing? That means you contact Social Security. Let's say you contact them this month and you can't go down there until next month or 2 months later. If you didn't contact them, your benefits probably are not going to start until next month or the month after. So you're going to lose a month or 2 months of benefits. So it's important that you contact Social Security immediately. I know there's nobody on the other side to answer phones. They've let them all go. So you might have to be on the phone for 3 hours. But here's another tip, secret workaround for that is call Social Security on your phone or obviously on your phone, but on your cell phone, hopefully, if you have one. And then when it shows that you're calling your local number or the 800-772-1213, then take a little screenshot of it. Take a picture of it. If you don't have that capability, wait till you get your bill, and so that you actually call the 800 number, and that will protect you. Or you can call your congressperson. I guess Congress, it is their responsibility to make sure people in federal offices, that Social Security office down the street from you. It's Congress's responsibility to make sure there's someone in there to help you out. And that's the responsibility that obviously they are not fulfilling right now. So it's ultimately their fault. Social Security can only work with the resources they are given. They have been begging for decades to update the system. They are begging for more staff because they're at a 50-year low, and now we're talking, numbers of staff going back probably to 1935. So protective filing, do not wait. Never, never wait to, wait until you get your birth certificate, or wait till you get a marriage certificate, or wait till you get some other thing that you think you might need, medical records. Never, never, never wait. Always contact Social Security Administration first, and that way you're protected so you won't lose those months. Okay. All right. There's another thing out there. So if you have someone that is, not able to go down to a local Social Security office, they're elderly or disabled or whatever the case may be, there is a program. It's called Representative Payee. So you can be assigned the representative payee for that person. Sometimes it just takes a doctor's note or something that says, hey, this person is elderly, this person is disabled, they can't go down to local Social Security office, they can't do their business themselves for whatever reason. So I want to be appointed the representative payee. So you can contact Social Security and you can make the trip down to Social Security office, wherever it is, and they can help you out. If you are the representative payee, if you're not, then yeah, they can't. And a power of attorney means nothing for Social Security. A power of attorney, why it doesn't, is a power of attorney is when someone of sound mind and body says, hey, I give you authority to do X, Y, and Z. So that means that person is of sound-minded body. They can, make that designation. A representative payee is when someone really can't. And hopefully they, if someone's elderly, they kind of can, and normally it wouldn't be an issue. But with the new changes, hopefully they don't start pulling back the representative payee program and make it even more difficult for the vulnerable out there. I wake up every day nowadays and wait for another Social Security crazy thing that comes out that are trying to block you from get your benefits. So, and reach out to Congress. This is the source of all of these issues. The only way, DOGE and Elon Musk are, I guess the captain now of Social Security is because the president and Congress have allowed him to be the president, the commissioner of default commissioner of Social Security. A little Freudian slip there. So I'm going to keep an eye on this because the idea. So the idea of this new thing that they just passed is to stop fraud. Okay, but there's two parts of it. One is they're talking about fraud in terms of people changing people's social or a direct deposit. Okay, that did exist. That seems reasonable. Again, hopefully they make some type of exceptions for disabled people or elderly people that can't go down to the local Social Security office to change their direct deposit. Okay, there was fraud there. Yes. Okay, that might be a good policy, although they have to moderate it, exceptions to exceptions. The other one about new claims, that's completely 100% BS. That's maybe 1 in a million. So they're picking out, okay, hey, we lost, $300 last year on this fraud. So we're going to shut down the entire program and make everybody's life, a nightmare. It's kind of like, the guy that tried to set his shoes on fire on an airplane, and now everybody has to take their shoes off. It's inconvenient. Okay, whatever. But this is people's livelihood. This is, if they can't get their Social Security checks, they get evicted. They get to lose their electricity. It's 120 degrees out there. So any type of small little thing where, Social Security, there was this one guy and this had a brother, his sister twice removed, the neighbor down the street, I heard, committed this type of fraud. So we're going to, blanket the entire country and make people jump through all these other type of hoops, which make it difficult for everybody. So I'm going to keep up on these. So make sure you subscribe, like, share, and all that kind of good stuff. I will keep up on these and give you kind of insider tips and tricks on how to work around the system. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about here before we get into the live Q&A is one good thing about DOGE and everybody and Musk and everybody taking over Social Security Administration is they're finally proving all of the BS, that it was BS. You've heard about the deep state for decades. The deep state is in there. So this is a Social Security version. So Elon is the captain now of Social Security, and the deep state. The deep state supposedly was in Social Security, and it controlled your benefits, and it punished political opponents. So if you were, negative or about this, that, or the other, then you got less Social Security check. There was all kinds of conspiracy theories out there. This whole conspiracy theory about people, paying dead people, no proof there, right? And supposedly, oh yeah, it's not actually paying dead people. It's that money is going to the deep state, and they're not actually paying illegal aliens, undocumented immigrants. That money was actually going to the deep state, and Social Security numbers are, cradle to grave, tracking you, and all of this deep state BS that they've been talking about for decades to distract us from the real issues that need to be addressed with Social Security. There are real issues. There is fraud, waste, and abuse. Usually it's one-on-one, somebody that's disabled that are actually working, or it's not sexy. It's not millions of people. There are people that are there is fraud, waste, and abuse out there, but all of this deep state conspiracy. If there is a deep state, okay. I just looked on the DOGE website today, and I didn't see, billions of dollars saved by, stopping money to illegals. I didn't see $1 billion saved by stopping, money to, the people that are dead. So either it was all BS, or the new deep state, DOGE and Elon Musk or whoever, is taking that money. And so it has to be one or the other. You can't have it both ways. So that's so again, it's all BS. It's just we're getting rid of all of the conspiracy theories that politicians have used for decades to distract us from the real issues. Social Security needs to be addressed. The computer system needs to be updated. Social Security has begged for decades for that. We need to worry about the trust fund in the future. Because the rich don't pay the same amount of FICA tax as the rest, and so therefore we're going to have issues. We're going to have cuts in the future. So we can finally focus on the real issues. So unless we decide not to. Okay, one last thing that just came out before I started today was a judge decided to block in court Social Security systems with American personal information, so DOGE getting access to those. So the judge basically said the DOGE team is essentially engaged in a fishing expedition at Social Security in search of a fraud epidemic based on little more than suspicion. And he says, to be sure, rooting out possible fraud, waste, and mismanagement in the Social Security is in the public best interest, but that does not mean that the government can flout the law to do so. And so, yeah, I mean, particularly when people go into the Social Security Administration and their mentality is it's illegal, it's all a Ponzi scheme, it's the biggest fraud in history. If you go in, you're not really going in, with kind of neutral. You're going in with, yeah, this is the biggest fraud in history. It's a Ponzi scheme, so I'm going to find every little needle in the haystack, and that's exactly what the judge said. It's a needle in a haystack, and they haven't found anything yet. Again, I'm not saying people are going to say, Ed, you think there's no fraud at Social Security? Of course there's fraud. Social Security employees, all you have to do is Google OIG fraud, Office of the Inspector General, OIG SSA fraud, and you'll pop up plenty of stories throughout the country where they've caught people doing this, that, or the other. So the Social Security employees, including the Social Security employees at your district offices, your local district office, in cooperation with the SSA OIG, Office of the Inspector General, they find fraud on a daily basis throughout the country. But it's almost always one-on-one. This person is working, this person is actually deceased, and their mother is in a 55-gallon drum out back in the shed and stuff like that. There are cases like that. It happens every now and then, unfortunately, but widespread fraud, the type of things they're looking for, just doesn't exist. And if it did, again, go onto the DOGE website and you can see if they found it. So the proof is in the pudding. Okay. All right, let's get into some actual questions here. And because there's so many exceptions, and people are really worried about everything with Social Security, and rightly so. Remember, the live Q&A is sponsored by Chapter Medicare. So if you need help with all things Medicare supplements, Part D, Medicare. This is also the OAP. We've only got a few more days. So if you have a Medicare Advantage and you want to switch it to another Medicare Advantage, you forgot to check it, you lost your doctor, you want to see if you're in the best one, you have a few more days to do that, because you can do that January, February, March, and you can switch from one Medicare Advantage to another. And until March 31st, you can also go back to original Medicare, leave your Medicare Advantage plan, go back to original Medicare, and get a Medicare supplement plan. In most states, you'll probably have to go through health underwriting, though. But yeah, reach out to Chapter and they can help you out. You've only got a few more days. After that, then it's just basically, if you move, or, you're, there are special enrollment periods throughout the year that if you need help, you can reach out to them. All right, let's hear. Just heard that a judge stopped Musk from getting into Social Security. Okay, yes, I just talked about that. All right. Combat action veteran, United States Marine Corps, Serrano, hoorah. Old Marine Corps sergeant here. Hoorah. My wife is receiving SSDI and an offset with California Corrections for 8 years and did not pay Social Security. Is she eligible on receiving WEP or GPO? Okay. So if your wife is receiving SSDI, Social Security Disability Insurance, and she's been WEP'd on her own record, yes. So what has happened up until now, before the Social Security Fairness Act, she her benefit amount was not, she was not given extra money. Now she will be given extra money. That's the Social Security Fairness Act. No, the other 97% won't be given the extra money, but she will. Anyway, so that's the law. Anyway. So yeah, she, hopefully they're supposed to be doing these things automatically. If she's currently receiving Social Security benefits, her PIA, her primary insurance amount, her benefit amount will be unwept. So she should be getting a letter, and the Social Security Administration is doing those now. And they said give them till April to make all the calculations. So I'd keep an eye on that. And they're supposed to do it retroactively back to January of 2024. So keep an eye on that. If she doesn't see an increase within the next few weeks, then reach out to Social Security, and they should be able to help you out. Worse ever, 62, receiving deceased spousal benefits on the spouse record, recently approved for SSDI, spousal benefits canceled. They say I can't get both, live in Florida, not working. Okay, so you can get both, but it really depends on the benefit amount. So possibly your SSDI benefits were higher. So yeah, but you can get both. So let's say if you were receiving Social Security Disability Insurance and it was $1,000 a month, and then you turn 60, that's as soon as you can collect surviving spouse benefits, and you're entitled to $1,500 from surviving spouse, a deceased spouse. So you'll continue to get your $1,000, plus you'll get an extra $500. And you're like, Ed, you said $1,500. No, you don't get both. You get the higher, but your disability, you get the $1,000 from disability, and then you get $500 for a total of $1,500. So, but in your case, the benefits on your own record are probably more. That's why, so, and it benefits you anyway, because you're 62, and because you're approved for disability benefits, now your Medicare is going to start earlier too. If you would have stayed on surviving spouse benefits, your Medicare wouldn't start till 65, but now you're going to start your Medicare about a year early, which is a beautiful thing. Well, it might even earlier, because it depends when they started your disability insurance. If your month of entitlement for your disability, you have to be on disability for 2 years, 24 months. So once you're on disability for 24 months, then your Medicare will start. So if they determine you became disabled 2 years ago, then guess what? Your Medicare started. You'll probably get your Medicare card in the mail here in a few days. So, and then you have to find, something to cover all those gaps. Medicare supplement with if you're on disability, you probably can't get a supplement, unfortunately, in Florida. I don't think you can. So you might have to go the Medicare Advantage route. which is fine, but it just takes a lot more effort. So, but nothing has been made official yet. All this is smoking mirrors. Smoking. Never heard of smoking mirrors. You mean smoke and mirrors? Um, yeah, no, it has been finalized. The thing about that you have to go down to the local Social Security office, that starts March 31st. Yep, it all has been final. It has been finalized. Julie, what's up, Julie? Appointment Monday, March 24th for my daughter to get disabled adult child on my SSDI in Florida. I went back to my maiden name, so our last name different. She is on SSI now, paperwork needed, trying to prepare. Yeah, no problem. I mean, you changed your name at the Social Security Administration, hopefully. You did your name change, but no problem. As part of the claim, they can update your Social Security card. That's no big deal. No, if your daughter to get the disabled adult child benefits, you're on SSDI. So if you have a disabled daughter, then your child's disability began before the age of 22. Then yes, but they will have to go through the whole rigmarole you did on getting her disability claim approved, and it's going to be so much worse because there's no staff there. All the staff was, just let go there. All right, I got some other questions here on some other platforms. Sir, I only received $1,225 early Social Security, applied for SSDI last June, still waiting for a determination. What what I may get if approved? What you will get, that's because. So this is a dib after rib, as we used to call it, or Social Security still calls it that. Here's a trick people to use. If you file for disability benefits and you're at least 62 years old, so what some people do is they file for disability benefits and retirement benefits at the same time, because it takes, months and months, and even worse now, months and months and months to get your disability decision back in most cases. So people can't wait that long. So what they do is they start their retirement benefits. So that's kind of like what you're doing. You're starting your retirement benefits and then starting your disability. Anytime you get your disability benefits are basically your benefit amount at your full retirement age, as if you waited till 66 and 8 months or 67. It's not reduced when you receive disability benefits. So if they determine that your disability started before you started your retirement benefits, then you're not going to get a reduction. If they determined your disability benefits started after you started your retirement benefits, then you might get a reduction for the number of months you were receiving retirement benefits. So there's that. So it's your benefit amount is going to be somewhere between what you're getting now and your full benefit amount, depending on when they determine you became disabled. So T.L. Bush, yes, as long as there are specialists in the office, they will help you. He is right. Call to establish your lead, which we will filing date. You will receive all of your back pay. Yes, sounds like someone knows what they're talking about this. But yes, that's the qualification. As long as they're specialists in the office. So I don't think anybody on the regular news channels are talking about this in social media because they don't know the inner workings of Social Security. Even if your office is open, you drive by your office and you're like, oh, it's open. Ed's wrong. He's a fearmonger, whatever. Okay, great. Your particular office is open. But in offices, they're broken up by staff. So you have people that are specialists that can help you with retirement, survivor benefits, Social Security disability insurance, Medicare. And then there's another component of the staff that helps with SSI, supplemental security income, the welfare-based program. And they can't do, this group can't do what this group does, and this group can't do what this group does. So your office might be full of people that can help you with the welfare-based program, but they can't help you with retirement or survivors or Medicare. So yeah, that's why, there's no rhyme or reason on how they let people go. So Laura, what's up, Laura? Ed tried to apply online under family benefits for spousal benefits, and it says I can't apply online. Said call, so I did. response on the phone said 2-hour wait and then hung up on me. What do I do? Yeah, that's the design of the new system. I mean, it's been bad for years. Social Security has been begging, "Hey, we need resources. Customer service is terrible. We're at a low point of staffing, low point in 50 years, but now it's even 10 times worse, 100 times worse." Yeah, the only thing, unfortunately, you can do is call back, but at least you're protected. So if you're not able to reach and take your claim until next month or the month after, you will get your back pay as long as you can prove that hey, I called y'all 2 months ago. And as a fallback, reach out to your politician. Anytime there's a congressional like that theoretically expedites everything. It makes it all quicker. But yeah, all bets are off now. It used to work a few weeks ago, but yeah, not so much now. Hello, just approved for SSDI December 2024. Can I work part-time? Yes, you can work part-time. This is where a lot of people out there think, oh, there's so much fraud in Social Security. I know there's one guy down the street, he receives disability benefits, but he goes to work. You're allowed to work when you receive Social Security disability insurance, but you have to stay under what's substantial gainful activity. So in your particular case, you just got approved, and it gets kind of complicated. Make sure you go to my channel, and I've got a bunch of videos. I've got over 1,000 videos, but I've got some videos on more details of working and collecting disability benefits. But to make this short as possible, you have what's called the trial work period. So for 9 months, you can try to see if you can go back to work, because Social Security and everybody wants you to go back to work because you make more money, you pay taxes. We love when people pay taxes, right? Anyway, and you save the trust fund because you don't get your money from the trust fund anymore. So people, Social Security wants to help you go back to work and to see if you're able to work. So that's why they have that trial work period. And then as soon as something, the guy down the street who was recently approved for disability tries to go back to work to do the right thing, his neighbor, drops the dime on him and calls Social Security. Oh, this person is committing fraud. He's working. Yes. So that's where, again, working in Social Security Administration, that's usually, where a lot of the so-called fraud allegations came in. And then it was also, ex-spouses and, trying to cause trouble. But anyway, 9 months trial work period. And then once you fulfill those 9 months, then after that, any month you go over the substantial gainful activity, which for this year in 2025 is $1,620. Every month you go over that, they will withhold your benefit amount. So, but watch my videos, my YouTube channel and TikTok and Insta. There's longer videos there that explain working and collecting Social Security. I don't understand they have so many employees, and Social Security, if they were doing their jobs, all go to this happen for so many decades. Yeah, so many employees. They've been, understaffed. I mean, it's for a long time. And yeah, it's been a long time, and now it's worse. The DOGE team is made up of 19 to 24-year-olds writing algorithms that fire people. Musk has simply directed them to destroy our government. Yeah. I mean, this is the playbook. This is, if you go onto my YouTube channel and the description, it has the playbook that was written in the 1980s. And this is exactly, it's going exactly as planned. Destroy the agency, start all these BS, conspiracy theories, attack Social Security, attack customer service, make customer service terrible. Don't let Social Security update the computer system. And then when a crisis happens, take advantage of the crisis to do that final blow to the agency. And now we are watching that final blow. So unless we do something. So yes, courts did rule no access, but if you think that Musk did not put in a backdoor or has already downloaded everything, you are deluding yourself. You can't trust. Yeah, I mean, it even if the Doge kids and the private equity people that are in there, even if now they can't get full access to it, the commissioner of Social Security is a Social Security guy. And he is also a Doge guy. So whatever, and he takes orders from them. He already said he takes orders from Doge. So whatever Doge tells him, then that's what he'll do. So Judge pretty much has no power, it seems like. The only way to save big money is to stop corporate welfare, but they would rather go after those with no money to fight with lawyers. Yeah. Yeah, it's always the people that are most vulnerable. This new terrible policy that they just passed that you have to go down to local Social Security office. Again, hours of wait. You can't get an appointment. You can't get into the phone, get an appointment. They've fired all these people. Early retired them. Voluntold them to leave the premises, and it's just going to hurt. The people that Social Security was intended in 1935 to help the most vulnerable. And now, yeah. Explain that one. It's Social Security employees doing their job. How did they get away with the fraud? This dud it happened. List trust rather than have artificial intelligence. Okay. Yeah. How did they get away with the fraud? And where is the proof of that fraud? So where is the proof that Social Security employees were paying 20 million dead people? Where is the proof that Social Security Administration was paying, millions of illegal aliens, undocumented immigrants? Where is the proof? Right? We're waiting, and we're still waiting, and we're still waiting, and we're still waiting. So guess what? Yeah, it's just a distraction, politicians, and you fell for it. So a federal judge in Maryland has just barred DOGE from. Okay, yes. So that's the story we already talked about. All right, let's see if we can help people find some money here. My son is 35. He has scoliosis, but the people say he will get it, but they deny him. He has anxiety, PTSD, depression. Now we're going to the judge. Can't understand it. Okay, so he filed for benefits, for disability benefits. He was denied the first time around. You filed the reconsideration, the SSA 561. You were denied there, and now you're going to see the judge. The judge, the administrative law judge, they're backed up as well. So they, take about a year or so to get to them, unfortunately, and probably even worse now. But yeah, the administrative law judge has a lot more latitude. They can kind of read in between Social Security policy a little bit more. So hopefully it works out better for your son. And remember, if the judge agrees and said, "Oh yes, your son should have been, he should have been approved day one," then Social Security will have to pay all of that money back, from day one, like he was approved the first time. So let's see here. Can you talk about the Fairness Act, please? Yeah, I've talked about that. I've got a ton of videos about the Fairness Act. It's basically the Social Security Fairness Act, which I argue is not a Fairness Act. It's unfair to the other 97%. But basically, there's 3% of people that worked in government agencies, state, local. They were police officers, teachers, firefighters or whatever. And they, as part of their main jobs, did not pay into Social Security. They did pay into Social Security in other places, so they're eligible for those benefits that they paid into other places. But their main jobs, they didn't pay into Social Security. And what happens is these people are treated like low-income workers, and they're giving a higher percent like low-income workers, but they're not low-income workers. Teachers, obviously, all teachers are low-income workers, but not poverty level low-income workers. Well, some are anyway, but they're given an extra benefit, and that a windfall. And the old provision was to eliminate that extra windfall. And now that's out. So now 3% of the population receive a higher percent of what they paid into Social Security than we do. A firefighter or a police officer or a teacher in one particular city or state gets a higher percentage than the other 97% of firefighters, teachers, and police officers. So yeah, it's completely unfair, but yeah, it is what it is. Until we reach out and say, hey, we want Social Security Fairness Act 2.0. We want, the other 97% want a few $100s extra a month, right? Right? Are you with me? All right. Can I collect money from ex-spouse? He makes more than me, married to him for 34 years. Yes, if there's certain things. So if it sounds like your benefit amount is less than half of his, so that's number one. You have to start collecting benefits on your own record. So you have to be at least 62 years old or on disability. 62. And he has to be at least 62 years old. It does not matter if he's collecting Social Security benefits. He just has to be at least 62 years old. So if those things, you've got the 10-year marriage, so that's not an issue. You're not married right now. And so if you've cleared all those hurdles, absolutely call Social Security or go online and file a spouse claim. If you don't know his Social Security number, no problem. Then you just call Social Security and tell them the person's name, date of birth, where they were born, and Social Security will be able to find that. So easy, easy, easy. How does raising the FICA cap help Social Security? Won't benefits have to increase to make it pointless? No. As I just pointed out, people that higher wage earners get a smaller percent. So there's the way the benefits are calculated. A lot of people don't know this, but your how they do it is they take your average index monthly earnings, how much you earn throughout your life, average on a monthly basis, and then they multiply it by these bin points, 90%, 32%, 15%. So it's progressive. So the more you pay, the less percent you get. So they just add another bin point. So easy, easy, easy. It's, yeah, any idiot could do it, but it's so simple to fix, so simple to fix. And Social Security, we won't get cuts here in a few years. It's so simple to fix, but politicians don't want it because then guess who's going to pay for that? It's their sponsors. Yeah. So they definitely don't want that to happen. So they just, anyway. 4 years ago, Chase canceled my credit card because they thought I was dead. They mixed it up with my mother had passed, so I called Social Security to tell them that I was not dead. They did not see that I was. Yeah. Okay. So in your particular case, it was outside of the Social Security Administration. Yeah, I always try to be fair here. There's a story going along that this guy in Seattle, Ned, I forget what his last name was, that DOGE killed him off. No, I don't think that's the case. It happens on a regular basis. What happens is somewhere in the country, somebody passes away, and the funeral home or the coroner's office, do the death certificate, and sometimes they type it in wrong, and the Social Security number, and it should be 1 2, and they type 2 1, and then somewhere in the country somebody passes away that has a similar name, and similar Social Security number. It doesn't happen very often. I think in my office, maybe about once a year, once every couple of years. It doesn't happen very often at all. And yeah, it's usually just somebody type in the coroner's office or funeral home, type in the wrong number. So, all right. Let's see here, get some other questions. I was born with a disability and am receiving disability, but what I get is not enough to live independently. My question is there another program probably I can look into help me more be independent? Absolutely, Lori. Yes, absolutely. I just did a video yesterday about 50 different programs that might be able to help you out. So you're receiving disability benefits. If it's under $967, then you're eligible for SSI, the Supplemental Security Income from Social Security. If you're eligible for SSI, you're eligible for Medicaid from the state. If you're receiving disability benefits, then you're going to be receiving Medicare. If you're receiving Medicare and Medicaid, you can receive the extra help with the prescription drugs. You can get a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan. Those are the ones with the extra, grocery cards and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there are a lot of programs out there. Watch the video I just did yesterday on living on Social Security alone. I've done that video several times. So just grab a piece of paper and a pen and watch the video. And I go through 50 different programs that might make your life a bit easier. So, all right, let's see here. So I've been working since I was 15. I'm 51 now, all this time. Oh, and no other question on that. Let's see. I was born. Okay, I already answered that one. I just tried to log into my Social Security account and received an email stating no such account exists. A couple of weeks ago, I had no trouble logging in. Wow, that's not good. I wonder, yeah, sometimes the system has gone down for maintenance, and again, I try to be fair here. People immediately, oh, the system is down. Sometimes it goes down for maintenance, particularly on the weekends, midnight, early in the morning and stuff. So hopefully it was just that. And the Doge kids didn't push the wrong button. But there's also, if you recently filed for benefits or you have a pending claim, sometimes it locks you out. Yeah, so they've been working on that, but again, no resources to fix stuff like that. Um, so other than that, I would reach out to Social Security. If those two things don't apply, then I would definitely reach out to Social Security and find out what in the heck is going on. Someone, Yahoo Susan said, I just logged in 5 minutes ago and just fine through my login.gov credentials. Okay, yes. So thank you, Yahoo Susan. So um, okay, wait a second. She said she logged in a few weeks ago and there was no problem. Okay, because a few months ago, Social Security, as part of updating the security system, they made everybody reapply. So if you haven't done it in a few months, then yeah, that's probably why. But in your case, you did it a few weeks ago. So it doesn't sound it right now. Yahoo Susan says the system is up. So please go in there again and check it out. It is unfair taxation for me to pay a tax on 100% of my income, but the high earning people only pay a small portion. This is discrimination against the middle and lower classes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Warren Buffett talks about this all the time. He says, he pays probably an effective rate of 5 or 10%. And, a lot of rich people don't even pay that because, they don't need the money. If they do, they go to a bank and they use their companies or stocks as as kind of collateral, and they get money from the bank and, pay the bank back 1%, and you don't have to pay, taxes on a loan. So, they never pay taxes. Who pay taxes? Yes, us little guys. And people always say, well, the poor don't pay taxes. Yeah, they eat, they drive, they live. So they pay real estate taxes, they pay, gas taxes, they pay, people pay taxes. They might not pay income taxes, but yeah, people pay taxes. There's a higher percentage than, yeah. I have applied for Social Security disability. I currently live and applied in Ohio. I am considering moving with my daughter to South Carolina. If I move prior to being approved, will that have any effect on my case? Yes. So, it will delay it. Possibly. Well, yeah, it'll delay it because if you move from Ohio, disability cases, even though you filed your disability claim at a Social Security Administration, the medical portion is decided by a DDS, a Disability Determination Service, and those are state agencies, that Social Security, state federal agency type thing. So your case is at the Ohio DDS. If you move to South Carolina, then they have to move that to South Carolina, your case to South Carolina, and then find someone else to work at it. And, it'll delay it. So if at all possible, it depends when you applied, if you've already got months and months and months and to wait, then you might just, go ahead and bite the bullet and do it if you really want to move. But yes, it just might delay it. It's Aloha Thursday. Okay. Used to get a Aloha Wednesday in the Marine Corps when I was at Camp Smith in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii. So for all those people at Camp Smith in Kaneohe Bay, Hawaii, aloha. Common folks, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and up button. Yes, please. Thank you very much. And even the uncommon folks, please. Did you say everyone had to reapply? Does this include people already receiving Social Security? No. What I was talking about reapply is for people that have your My Social Security website, your account, which I recommend everybody do. But if you have through SSA.gov, My Social Security, if you have that, you received an email over the last several months that say, hey, we're updating the system. You have to go in there and get into the system again. You have to go through these hoops, protect you. It's a good system. It's a good system because it's meant to protect your information. So, but it is a pain in the butt. But that's the only thing. So yeah, you don't have to, if you're currently receiving Social Security benefits, then you're good. So Have been on Social Security for several years. Do I have to go in to verify I am alive? No letter received to request to do this. No, Roberta, you don't need to, unless the only people that need to do this, you're probably thinking about people that live overseas. So expats, people that live overseas, they get a letter once a year that says it's a proof of life letter. It says, "Hey, you're overseas. Are y'all still out there?" Because when people live overseas, the funeral homes and the coroners don't report it back to America that this person passed away. So that's why every year that person gets those people living overseas get the letter. But if you're in the United States, then no, you don't get those letters because in the United States, Social Security Administration has a contract with all the different states that if anybody passes away, they automatically notify Social Security. So my office in Columbia, South Carolina is closed and no one is answering the phone. Yeah. Yeah. Musk is doing a great job. Musk is showing fraud, waste, fraud, and abuse. All these agencies were using the taxpayer money to serve themselves. Showing fraud. Okay, I haven't seen any from Social Security. I haven't seen any receipts yet. Rescue Mom. Not sure. If he didn't find any dead people received. Again, he conflates these terms. As I just mentioned, when you pass away in the United States, they notify Social Security immediately. So if you pass away, on Tuesday and your check usually comes on Wednesday, you're going to get your check because the stuff doesn't happen that soon. So, but anybody that passed away knows that if you're not entitled to that check, the Department of Treasury goes into your bank account and rips that thing back out. So, yes, does Social Security pay dead people? Yes, every single day. And because the timing of it, person passes away on Monday, Tuesday, they get their check a day or so later, but Social Security gets it back. So people, Social Security is paying dead people. Yes, but not the 20 million people over 112, 160 years old. That's an old, internet myth that, yeah, is nobody believes it anymore except for Elon Musk. So we'll let him have fun with that. My local office is open, but they're only taking people with appeals. It's sad because all that office space and only a handful of people in there. Yeah. And they just mandated Social Security employees return to work starting this week. Return to office. They've always been working. It's just they were working from home. And I can tell you unequivocally that Social Security, the management in those offices can manage someone that's supposed to be on the phones. If that person is 5 feet away or if that person is 5 miles away, the computer screen shows that this person is on the phone taking phone calls and how long they've been on the phone and, how long their break is and how many calls they answered the day. The metrics are crazy. There's so many metrics of Social Security. The people are always working, but now they have to return to the office, which fine. Okay, whatever. But don't think that's going to improve customer service. All those politicians that said, well, as soon as people return to the office, customer service will be all perfect. But then they go and fire everybody. It says, okay, what do you want to return to the office or you don't? So Audrey, do I need to worry if my Social Security number was used fraudulently last year for unemployment payments? I filed a report, got my federal and AZ taxes returned, but my wages do not match my Social Security wages report. Oh, okay. So that last part was Social Security type of issue. People get their Social Security numbers, stolen all the time, and it's not a Social Security issue. It's usually a credit card company or something. But the only way it affects your Social Security is if somebody, pretends to get you to, pretends to be you and get Social Security benefits, or they work under your Social Security number. So in your particular case, the thing you need to watch out for, you need to correct is your wages. So it sounds like someone worked or something under your Social Security number. So I would reach out to Social Security and, correct your wages, because what some people do is they see extra money on their, Social Security record from last year, and they say, "Oh, that's awesome. That's going to increase my benefit amount. Oh, I won't say anything." They eventually catch those, and then they say, "Hey, those earnings weren't yours, and because of those, we gave you an extra $100 a month. We want that money back." So it's very important that you correct your earnings record. Thank you, Dr. Weir. The situation and the mainstream media, the polarization and going trauma is making me sick. Yeah, you and me both. Thanks to your facts and logic, I am getting through it. Oh, awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I try to be more positive, but recently, yeah, it's kind of difficult. But I try to look for the good side there. I was on my disability for 6 years. Now I get my Social Security. Will I get some of that back? So yeah, so disability is Social Security. So you got disability for 6 years. So not sure what you want to get back. So why don't you work for Social Security anymore? Are you retired or did you get fired? No, I retired. I took an early out. Yeah, I saw the kind of writing on the wall and I figured I could do something else. So I took an early out. And so, yep, I ran the third business Social Security office in the country. And so there's that. Oh, must cause absolutely gotten everything already, but now I guess you can demand that they give up the information that they've got about you and what they've done with it. Yeah, was it Jamie Raskin is recommending people do a Freedom of Information Act thing. I think that's probably what you're referencing to where you request a Freedom of Information Act of what they got of your particular information. So. We filed for Social Security right after Trump won the second election. Didn't trust him at all. I'm getting that a lot. Is people are asking me, I was going to wait until my full retirement age. I was going to wait until 70-year-old, until I was 70 to collect benefits. And that's your own decision of when you want to start your benefits. Based on your age and whether you're working and you need the money and all that kind of stuff. But there's even before Trump or Biden or anybody, they're all at fault. Social Security, the politicians over the last 20 or 30 years did not solve the issue of the inevitable cuts to Social Security that are going to be happening in a few years, 21, 22% cuts. And politicians need to do that. Even before the current chaos, politicians failed us to address the long-term, solvency of Social Security. And I want to make sure I'm clear with all the new people watching here. Social Security is still going to be around, and unless it's privatized. This is what they're trying to do now: is privatize it, give it complete love to Wall Street. But if Social Security continues to exist, then it will always exist because people are always going to work, unless there's another zombie apocalypse and we're all wiped out. But anyway, people are continue to work and they're continue to pay FICA taxes, and that's not the issue. So they pay FICA taxes, but the problem is, it's not population. It's the fact that so much money is exempt from paying into FICA because all the money is going to the top and, not to us regular people. So X amount of money comes in from FICA taxes, but the problem is X goes out. And right now that gap is being addressed by the trust fund. Money is taken out of the trust fund every month to fill that gap. And that trust fund is slowly being depleted. And when it's depleted, there's nothing to fill the gap. So this much comes in, that much needs to go out, but it can't. So this much goes out. So everybody gets a 20, 22, 23, 20, 30% cut. So that's politicians failed us, and they should have fixed this years ago. But we were too distracted with conspiracy theories and deep state and illegals and dead people getting, 200-year-old people. So yeah, we fell for it and we're going to pay for it. So optimistic. Anyway, all right. I'm 64, been on SSDI. There's still hope, folks. I'm 64, been on SSDI since 2024. I'm expecting on getting a workers' comp lump settlement from years ago. Will or how will it affect my SSDI or Medicare benefits? It probably won't affect it might affect your Medicare benefits Part B. You pay that extra premium, but on that one, there's probably a ways around that one. But your SSDI, yes, because it's a workers' comp. Congress decided years ago, here's the logic. When you're on Social Security disability insurance and then you receive workers' comp and you make, between those two, you make $5,000 a month. But when you're actually working, you only made $3,000 a month. So Congress said, wait a second, no, you shouldn't make more money on workers' comp and disability than you made when you actually worked. So that's why workers' comp public disability benefits, not, a private disability, but we're talking, state, government workers' comp type situation. That money will offset what you receive from Social Security. And in your particular case, because you're getting a lump sum, what they will do is they will calculate it out. They will look at your age. They will look at the actuarial tables. They will say, okay, someone your age is, scheduled to foretold or whatever to live this long. So they will take your lump sum and divide it by that many months. And that's how they would determine how much offsets your SSDI. But the important thing is, as soon as you get that money, you contact Social Security and make them do the calculation so you don't get some type of nasty well, you might even get an overpayment. So because of that. So yeah, you definitely need to reach out because they will find out. They will find out. Social Security award letter approved after a denial. The calculations are incorrect. They are deducting Medicare and they should not be. I called Social Security. Yes, it is an error. How can we get a fully itemized list? Well, in the old days, that is 2 weeks ago, you would send in a 561 or a request for reconsideration, and you would say, I want a full accounting. And that would go to the regional offices, but they've shut down most of the regional offices. So you can still request it, but it's going to take a long time to get a full detail of, exactly how the calculations are made. But reach out to your politician, file the 561 or call your politician, go on to your senator, your House representative, whoever represents your district, and go onto their website. And on their website, it has a little button that says, I need help with a federal agency. Click on that, tell them what you need, and maybe that will expedite it a little bit. So I'm not on Social Security, but my elderly father is. Plus, my daughter gets her father's survivor benefits. Because she became disabled at 21 from a car wreck, we're in a rural community, office taking walk-ins. Each office is a little bit different. Some of the, smaller country offices out in the sticks, smaller communities, they do walk-ins, some others don't. And even if I think the smaller offices are really going to be hurt the most because they've already got very few employees, and if they lose one or two people, then they're done. And again, as I mentioned, your office might be open, but the people that help you in your particular case are called Title II of the Social Security Act. Before I became a manager, I was a claim specialist, Title II of the Social Security Act. I did retirement, survivor benefits, disabled adult child benefits. So maybe all of those in your particular office are gone, and so they might not be able to help you. So I get SSDI and widow's benefits. I couldn't get Medicare. When can I get Medicare? I thought 5 years. I am paying for health insurance. No, if you get SSDI, then you are eligible for Medicare after being on disability for 2 years. So are you getting SSDI widow benefits or SSDI and widow benefits? There's a difference. So if you became disabled between the ages of 50 and 59, and you're receiving benefits from your deceased spouse's record, those are called DWIB, disabled widows benefits. But it's still disability. And then after 2 years on that, then you get Medicare. And then if you're on regular SSDI, 2 years after that, you get either way, you get Medicare after 2 years. So I'm really, really hoping that they didn't, because they sign you up automatically after 2 years. I'm hoping they didn't sign you up, send you your card a year, 2, 3 years ago, and it didn't come in the mail. You change your address. It got, somebody stole it out of the mailbox, whatever the case may be. And you've been paying for Medicare for the past 2 years and you didn't even know it. I hope that's not the case. But yeah, reach out to Social Security. And you can also reach out to a chapter. They have access to Medicare's kind of database for that particular thing to see if you indeed have, Medicare active. So, all right, we are over an hour and there's tons of questions, and unfortunately, we're running out of time. I'll be back again tomorrow, come up with another topic of the day, and answer as many questions as I possibly can tomorrow. Y'all take care. Please take care of each other, and please look out for those people, in your community that can't jump through these hoops. If you're able, if you're like, oh yeah, this is no big deal for me. I can do it online. I can go down to the office. I've got no perfect, awesome, great. Let's look out for those people that are vulnerable in our communities, the elderly, the disabled, children, stuff like. Let's go out there and make sure they can jump through those hoops. Help them jump through those hoops. All right, y'all take care. Have an awesome night.